It's our plan to have our athletic program comparable to USC, to Notre Dame, to Alabama, to anybody.
What's going on, Flames Nation? Welcome to the Sea of Red football podcast sponsored by Jason Porter Real Estate. And I can promise you that for the next 60 minutes, there will be no flags during our show. I'm joined by two amazing gentlemen, Christian Taylor, the man who is all things the Sea of Red, John Manson. And normally I ask the question, how we live in this Tuesday night, but I don't need to because I know the answer. We are all feeling very similar feelings right now, whether you predicted that this was going to happen or whether you were a big-time Kool-Aid drinker. I'm sure you're already aware. Liberty has fallen to 1-2 against Bowling Green. Gentlemen, how are you doing this evening?
We are here. It is Tuesday night. It's a good day to have a good day, as I like to tweet out on occasion. We did not have a good day on the football field Saturday, but Andrew, I can't promise you things are going to be okay as far as football goes, but it's going to be okay. It's going to be okay one way or another. We're going to break it all down. We're going to break down the game Saturday, what's gone wrong so far this season. It's been a lot of it, and obviously look ahead to the JMU game Saturday. Try to give some hope, try to give some optimism, and, keep on moving forward.
Yeah, I showed up tonight as well, so that's a plus.
Welcome back,
I thought maybe showing up or not showing up, maybe could turn the tides after the first loss. Didn't work, so now we're showing back up again. We'll see what happens. So, yeah,
I'm a superstitious person, so I'm willing to try literally anything if anyone has any superstitious ideas. But we're glad to have CT back. We're glad to have you tuning in, whether you're watching as a sicko JMU fan or just someone that is just a self-loathing Liberty fan, or someone that maybe we can provide some optimism. But definitely a lot to cover, a lot to talk about, and we're excited that you're joining us. We're going to kick things off as we normally do with our main man Jason Porter and a surprise guest. I live not in the know of who it's going to be, which is always fun. But the one thing I do know is that we are going to start with one of my favorite ads in the world, the great people of Leesburg, Florida.
It's real Florida. It's old Florida, and it's close to all of the Central Florida attractions. Crystal clear natural springs in one of the largest chain of lakes. The beautiful lakefront city of Leesburg offers the best in outdoor adventures, fishing, and quaint shops and restaurants on historic downtown Main Street. Come visit and see how welcoming a hometown city feels. Experience Leesburg the way Florida is meant to be.
Our listeners, watchers, viewers, followers, they could probably do a better job of telling us who's coming on the show each and every week than Richie can. But, obviously JP is back with us in this spot, and Eli Auguste, Liberty safety, joining as well too. JP, how are you doing tonight? Are you going to pick up some spirits around here a little bit?
All I know is I was doing much better till I saw the weather outside, and then you show Leesburg again, and it's like 58 degrees and raining in Lynchburg. Thanks a lot, John. Appreciate that. But yeah, man, everything's good. Lord is good, and we're here tonight.
Eli, glad to have you with us. How are you doing? It's another day playing football, and another day in college for you. How are things going for you?
Good, man. I'm blessed. I'm blessed to be in this position, and everybody knows the story, but we're ready. We're good.
Yeah, Eli, it was a tough one up in Bowling Green again Saturday, obviously, and we kind of all know the background of that. Take us. You heard the intro. You know what the civilian life out here is like. We're all a little bummed, a little whatever. So this is your chance to talk us off the cliff a little bit, cheer us up a little bit, tell us how the weekend's been, tell us how Sunday went, meetings and practice yesterday, meetings and practice today. What's the mood of the squad?
It's crazy though that you say that because it's actually really good. Like, we know, especially when we watch the film like Sunday and Monday, we're looking at it and it's like it's so many little mistakes that can really just change the game around and turn it to like a 40-14 game instead of us losing by 10. You know what I mean? So we're doing really good. We're our attitude is great. We're taking it the right way, and we know, shoot, God has us here for a reason. We're not tripping too much about it. We know our full potential and we know what we can do. We just have to start executing and just fully get into that mode for real.
Eli, take us back to Saturday up in Ohio. It seemed like the defense played a really strong game, held Bowling Green down to just 3 points in the first half until that late turnover. What were some of the things that you had, some of the takeaways you had from that game and the overall team's performance, the defense's performance, and your own personal performance?
It showed me a lot that we're really resilient, and not just on the defensive side, on both sides. Like, we had a couple times where we felt like we were getting, like, they were driving down the field on us on defense, and we just had to stop, take a breath without any timeouts, and just like kind of lock back in and get into that groove again. And it really helped us realize, like, all right, we're resilient. We can deal with an offense getting 3 first downs on us and us stopping them and holding them to only a field goal. You know what I mean? And it helped our offense a lot because our offense just gained more confidence in us because we know we didn't play that well, Jack State. So, the tables turn sometimes, like it's how it is, but we're still here to pick them up. We're still here to get them ready. We've been practicing the right way. We've been practicing good. And even the offense, we realized a lot with the offense too. Like, shoot, they're resilient. In the fourth quarter, we realized we had that fight in us. We were only down 7 for up until I think about 3.5, 4 minutes left. But you know what I mean? Like, we still have those type of attributes to us that we can really still do it. It's just we have to put it all together and we have to work with each other and not really against. Because there was a couple times where defense would get a stop and then offense wouldn't get anything going, but then defense would let them score and then offense will score. So it's kind of like a little bit complementary. We just have to work together on it and kind of help each other out.
Eli, we're used to seeing the Flames defense show up on the turnover margin scale in the positive, and right now we're sitting -4 in turnover margin, which is really unusual 3 games into the season here. But Tell us a little bit about how does that tide turn? What do you guys do practice-wise to sort of make being ball hawks and just doing what you guys do, trying to strip from the defensive side with tackles and punching the ball loose and all kinds of really, sort of some fundamental stuff for you guys, but has the focus been a little bit more renewed on trying to make this turnover margin back and get some turnovers to start turning the tide of the ball games?
Yeah, definitely. So Jack State, as you could tell, we weren't really good at tackling, and our effort was a little bit like not really shown there. So all last week we were so focused on effort and tackling, and then we had so much like great effort and great tackling last game, and we didn't even realize, like, dang, we didn't even put on the Joker mask. Joker mask has been a little lonely lately. So this week we've been working on a lot of just turnover circuits, just focus on getting the ball out, focus on interceptions, punch outs, a bunch of things like that. We're still working on tackling, still working on our effort. So it's definitely going to come this week, and we feel that just us being intentional, how intentional we were last week and getting it done, we feel like this week we'll be able to do the same.
Yeah, we're definitely looking forward to hopefully seeing that Joker mask a few times Saturday at Williams Stadium. Eli, you guys been on the road the last couple of weeks and some long trips going to Alabama, going to Ohio, but now you're back at home. It feels like it's been a long time, and I'm assuming a couple of losses make it feel even longer since you were back at Williams Stadium. How excited are you to be back playing in front of your home fans this weekend?
Really excited. And I think our guys there too, like it's tough going on the road. We have fun going on the road, but it's tough. It's tough playing And no matter what it is, we're playing D1 football. We're playing at a totally different environment. Like, it's tough playing on the road. We have a little bit of fans that kind of travel with us, but it's nothing like having, just the whole student section filled up at Williams Stadium, and then our crowd going for us, and the defense being loud. So we're definitely excited. We definitely can't wait to do it again.
Now, Eli, between John Manson and myself, I don't want to date John, but I'm going to date myself here a little bit. And you need to know that us old school guys, this JMU thing is a big deal, man.
Yeah.
So we are excited about this new Battle of the Blue Ridge. The series, 10 games, starts this year and goes through 2040. Who knows where any of us will be in 2040, but unbelievable start to the rivalry here coming up. Like I said, it's a big deal to those of us that have been around. You probably saw the piece that Flame Central did here just a couple days ago, kind of recapping all this stuff. Are you guys talking a little bit about the JMU thing, or is this just a ball game and you just got to go out and ball?
A little bit of both. I mean, we definitely are. Coach has mentioned it to us, and he's been a part of like a bunch of rivalries back at Coastal too, so he kind of knows how this goes. And we didn't have at least too many rivalries here, so now he's kind of like getting us into knowing about our opponent, knowing just about the rivalry, just about the Battle of the Blue Ridge. But at the end of the day, we're still trying to treat it as like the next one, like the next big game. You know what I mean? Just still trying to take it day by day, trying to just get better day by day and just continue to move on through there.
This player segment is always featured by RT Rogers as we're meeting with Liberty defensive back Eli Auguste. And so pleased to have Eli with us every other week, and then get a defensive point of view from the team. And also tight end Jacob Jenkins joins us in the alternating weeks. So unlike Richie, you can know who's coming next week unless something changes. But Eli, tell us a little bit about RT Rogers, Liberty alums that have a good oil business, that oil company to help keep our flames energized. Tell us a little bit more about them, Eli.
Yes, sir. For over 50 years, our family-owned and operated oil company has been powering homes, farms, and businesses in our community. Whether you need residential or commercial propane and heating oil, generators, or expert service, we've got you covered. We also offer top-quality commercial and agricultural fuels, tanks, lubricants, and equipment, plus wholesale opportunities that help your businesses grow. Trusted experience and dedication that only a family business can deliver. Call us today and experience the difference.
So, Eli, Liberty's done a lot of winning during your time on the mountain, and hit a little bit of a slow patch, rough patch here early in the season. That's really hasn't happened much at all. I mean, you have to go back to 2019, the last time Liberty had a losing record at some point in time in the season. You talked about it a little bit early on, but what have some of the conversations been like around the team and that you can share with us as far as, just the team's mindset, where you guys are at, how you guys are trying to get this ship righted. Coach Chadwell was talking today about how, the game's it's a game of inches. Like, that field goal, that miss early in the game was, went over the upright and you just needed a couple inches inside the upright. And you guys are taking that early lead 3-0. So what are you guys saying to each other and doing to kind of help coach each other up and stay united during this time?
Yeah, first off, we're just all being honest with each other. Like, we're kind of trying to realize, like, we'll have a little bit, like, just trying to tell the offense what they can do better. And we got the offensive guys telling us, like, what do you think we can do better? Whether it comes from, like, even just kicks, holdings, whether it comes from pass interference calls, face mask calls, whatever it is, we're just trying to find a way to get better. And the first thing of getting better is realizing. So we all realize what's wrong, and we see through just the little inches that could cause us to have a missed field goal. Instead of it being 3-3, it's 3-0. You know what I mean? Just a little bit of momentum. And I feel like we haven't been able to take the momentum. I feel like we just been kind of letting the momentum just sit there, and then teams were able to kind of take it and kind of run with it. So we've been just being positive with each other, definitely realizing what's going wrong and just trying to fix it, and really emphasizing everything that we was talking about in the beginning of the year, like for defense, emphasizing tackling, taking the ball away, effort, execution. And then I know the offense on their side during scout team period, they're doing the same thing. And when we come up all together, we're both trying to just help each other get better, whether it's a receiver gets me on double moves, tell me what I should be looking for, or like whether I jam a receiver up or I get right on a tight end fit and they tell me, shoot, how did you do this? So we're all just kind of trying to coach each other up. We all understand what the issue is, and we're all trying to get better. So it's a good thing because everybody's open to listening and open into like coaching, whether it's from another player or a coach. So that's another good thing too.
Eli, I don't know if our folks got a chance to watch the JMU Louisville game, but of course we did at the hotel that night at Jacksonville State. But they're averaging almost 35 minutes of time of possession, which is something offensively on that side. And they're a little bit more run heavy right now, about 220 yards on the ground, more so than their passing game. So what kind of things are you guys keying in on, knowing that they're going to be, a couple of different looks and maybe tend to pound the ball a little bit more than throw it?
Yeah, we're definitely just trying to be aggressive. We're not trying to sit back and kind of wait and fill it out, because I feel like that's kind of what we were doing in the Maine and the Jack State game, kind of waiting to fill out. We're definitely trying to be more aggressive. We know they got two good quarterbacks that they use both of them too. So the film study's good. We got a good plan going in. So we're really just trying to hone in on just the type of tendencies that they've shown in the past too, that'll kind of help us and give us an edge on what they plan on running with us also.
Eli, I appreciate you joining us tonight, and look forward to seeing you out there on the field Saturday in front of that sea of red, and hopefully 25,000 strong, cheering you guys on to victory.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you so much. Thank you.
Thanks, Eli.
Well, that was great having Eli on. Always is a good time. And JP, I got to see you up in Ohio last week, and things didn't go the way we wanted them to. But back at home, it's nice to not have to do any more traveling. Although traveling can be fun, but it's nice to drive 10 minutes down the road and be at Williams Stadium this week. So JP, we were talking a little bit before about construction homes, like. Some people might say, hey, I want to build a new home, build my dream home or something like that. What are some of the pros and cons compared to a construction home or buying a house that's already, constructed, already been built?
Yeah, big difference between new construction and existing homes for sure. I sort of always tease with people that are looking at new construction. I say, if you think a new pair of shoes and a new car smells good, you ought to try new construction. Definitely a lot of excitement when you're building a new house. Just a couple things to keep in mind as folks are thinking through that. Depends on if the land and the lot will come with that. And this comes back to a financing question. So it's something that you want to talk to your lender about, how those two things can work together for you. The other thing that I'm actually in the middle of, and this is kind of what made me think about this point for us to talk about tonight. I've got two clients right now that we're working with new construction. And both of these houses have unfinished basements. And so we've been able to negotiate the builder to come in to finish the basements and make that as part of the new mortgage payment. So they're not paying for the renovation after they've already closed on the house. So you get some flexibility and some things to do like that with new construction. A lot of other nuances. And one last quick thing, in the state of Virginia, we have a state law that you have a 1-year new home builder warranty that comes with a new house, covers major systems and some other things like that too. Again, would always love to walk somebody through some of those processes, and certainly can answer any questions. All my contact information is right there.
Awesome. Thanks, JP. Appreciate you. Look forward to seeing you Saturday, and make sure if you got any real estate needs, reach out to Jason Porter. Like he said, his information's on the screen here. If you're listening, jasonporterrealestate@gmail.com is the best way, easiest, quickest way to get in contact with him. Thanks, JP. See you soon, man.
Thanks, John.
Well, hey, everybody. My name is Jason Porter. I'm with Legacy Realty and Development, and it's been a great partnership here with Sea of Red lately. I was with Liberty Athletics as the Associate Athletic Director for Sports Medicine, so took care of all of the healthcare needs and coordinated that with a fantastic staff at Liberty in the athletic department, of course, for about 5 or 6 years, and then moved into real estate full-time and with Legacy Realty and Development. And it's just been a great pleasure to continue to stay connected with my Liberty University family and the athletics family as well. Been enjoying serving them. A lot of the graduate assistants and some of the staff that I hired has come back now and has been using me for residential services, which I really appreciate. But certainly do residential real estate as far as buying and selling of homes, of course. And then also we have a strong commercial presence as well. So commercial real estate, obviously a very, very different animal than is residential. But whether it's buying and selling commercial properties or just the leasing of properties, we can help with that as well. So it's been a great opportunity to service our commercial clients as well. And then certainly on the investment front too, a number of folks who have discovered the power of passive income through real estate and investing in real estate with rental properties or fix and flips, those kind of things. And so great joy to serve my clients in that capacity as well. The other thing that I would add too is just a very, very full Rolodex at this point of contractors and subs and just different professional contacts that I've made through the years. So if I can ever provide any of those folks to you and all of a sudden you need a plumber or an electrician or a contractor to build your deck, whatever, I'd certainly be glad to give you access to that Rolodex and those references as well. Because a lot of times it's not exactly who you know, it's who you know that knows how to do the job well. And so I would be glad to provide those services for you as well. So love Flames Nation, love taking care of my Liberty family. And if there's ever anything I can do for you, my contact information is all right here on the screen. And I would love to be a service to you and yours. Thanks so much.
We're back. Great to hear some insight from the locker room. Definitely doesn't sound like doom and gloom. Doesn't sound like the team is checked out, that there's still things to play for, which we'll talk about. But we'll take a glance in the rearview mirror before we look forward. And that's Bowling Green. Saturday at 5 o'clock. John, you were there. It seems to be the pattern of the last couple of weeks where momentum. Can't get any momentum. Turnovers, missed field goals, just anytime you think you got something going, bam. Was it first play of the game? First drive of the game again?
First drive of the game. I can't remember exactly. Liberty had picked up a first down or two, and it was actually Reese Smith had caught the pass and moved into Bowling Green territory. You thought, okay, here we go, getting some momentum going. Hopefully, going to get a lead to start the game. And Reese, one of our top players and one of our most consistent players. He had the ball locked up, but they just had a nice. Their defender had a nice swing at the ball and popped it out, and they were able to fall on it as it bounced right to them. And then they go down and score a field goal and take the lead, and then we're kind of playing from behind the rest of the way. And I mean, we said it last week, right? And it's repeated. It's basically the same stuff happened. You had 2 touchdowns wiped off due to penalties. You had a missed field goal, and then you had 4 turnovers plus 2 turnover on downs. I mean, you can't win football games when you're doing stuff like that. You can't repeatedly hurt yourself, self-inflicted wounds, and still win games. I mean, the guys on the other side of the field, I mean, Eddie George, a former Heisman Trophy winner back in his home state. I mean, there was a big crowd. I mean, that place was packed. You could feel it when you got on campus. I got on campus 2.5 hours before kick, and it was packed. You could see the tailgate lots were packed. So they had a lot of juice. I mean, they're a competent program and a competent coaching staff, and they've been to 3 straight bowl games, and they have some good players. So you can't overcome all these self-inflicted wounds and win. You're just not going to do that. We're not good enough right now. At least we haven't shown that we're good enough to overcome, that many mistakes.
And I think as well, I mean, talking about the mistakes, it is something that it's a weird balance, because if you do just go look at the box score, you'll see the turnovers, yes, which is, and the mistakes and the penalties, and that's definitely part of it. But if you just look purely based on some of the numbers and stats that we're putting up, like we're putting up more yards, we're getting more first downs, like all the things. So like there's pieces there that it's like, okay, the team has, like, it's not like they're just a terrible team or anything like that. It's there. It's just there's so many things that we're just shooting ourselves in the foot, whether it be penalties, turnovers, whatever it may be. So it's this weird balance of we're seeing this be repeated over and over, but at the same time, it feels like something that should be able to be changed easily, however you want to put that at this point.
Yeah, if you play that clean game and win the turnover battle, as cliche as it is, but there's not many teams in college football, in Division I college football, that you're going to beat when you have 4 turnovers, 2 turnovers on downs, missed field goal. It's you can't. You need to hold on to the ball. And yeah, like you said, you look at some of the numbers. Evan Dickens had another great game, another touchdown, and it's just, yeah, it's everyone knows that it has to get better. And yeah, red zone. It's like, and I think it's kind of that when you're in the red zone, we're not even at that point where it's all right. We know we can get 3, so it's like getting the red zone's not something to celebrate. It's more like nerve wracking. Everyone's kind of just like waiting with bated breath because even if there is a touchdown, and you said we've had 3 touchdowns called back in the last 2 games, and yeah, they're not personal foul penalties, which I guess is a step in the right direction from last year, but.
Coach Chadwell talked about it today in his press conference. He said, the last 2 games, Liberty's lost by 10 points each. So that's 20 points total. And if you add up, the points taken off the board due to penalties and missed field goals, that's 27 points. So Liberty could have won these games. And, there's been a lot made about, Liberty outgaining the opponent in each of the first 3 games and all that. And there's something to be said about that. It's not like Liberty just going out here and getting dominated from the jump. I mean, they're in the games. They're playing with the opponents. They're not getting blown out. But you have to capitalize on the opportunities you have. When you get into the red zone, you have to score, and you got to score touchdowns. Like at this point in time, Liberty's 1 for 4 kicking field goals using 2 different kickers. You just have to assume as an offense, I have to get the job done. I have to get the ball into the end zone. And we can also talk about the offensive line. There's been some concerns there. I mean, Ethan Vasco was sacked 4 times before halftime, and so I'm sure some of those turnovers he's thinking in the back of his head. I got to get the ball out, or I got to make a play, or I'm about to get hit, or something. And it's you can't. And again, it's not just Vasco that's committing the turnovers. We're talking about Reese Smith. I mean, Caden Williams had a really bad fumble there late in the first half. I mean, that's one I think maybe has gotten overlooked a little bit. I mean, it's 3-0. We got the ball backed up inside of our own 10-yard line with a minute and a half left in the first half, and we're looking to just run the clock out and get into the locker room down 3 points. Like, okay, we'll figure it out from here. And he breaks free in the middle and puts the ball on the turf. And next thing you know, the defense, probably half of them already in the locker room, checked out, ready to, rest up and get ready to come out in the second half. And now they're back out here on the field, and before you know it, it's 10-0. Going in, that's a completely different.
And with them getting the ball back,
yeah,
like you're like, hey, if it's 3-0 at halftime, fine, they get the ball back. When it's 10-0 and getting the ball, it's totally different vibe.
It does. So, and you also, like last week, we were beating up on the defense a little bit, but the defense has actually played pretty well. I mean, they've had lapses here and there. Some of that performance at Jack State is really a head scratcher, and you want to beat your head up against the wall when you look at some of those numbers. Yeah. But it's just inconsistency. Like the defense will play good for a half. The offense has got 3 turnovers in a half. Then the offense will go and score, 20 points in a quarter, and the defense can't get a stop. So we just got to put it all together.
Yeah. It's like my golf game.
Same, except for when you played a few weeks ago, Richie. That was impeccable golf. So it might not be the best example. So I saw one comment, and I think it's something worth talking about really quickly, as somebody on Twitter, or X, I should say. And they said, I think this goes back to this game, last game, multiple games from last year as well. It said, we've got to get more imaginative on 3rd or 4th down and short. It's obvious that we don't have the beef up the middle against a stacked line. Several drives were stonewalled by the vanilla calls. Curious y'all's thoughts on that.
Yeah, I mean, the 4th down call last week, as just threw everyone off. It's hard to run the option. It's hard to say, hey, go get that 4th and 2 when there's no push yet. So it is. I mean, yeah, I do want to. Yeah, there's a lot to be pessimistic about, but there were some flashes. Some of those holds could have gone either way. There's holding on every play, but No, I agree. Open it up, get a little weird with it, see what happens.
Yeah, we struggled on 4th and short going back to last year. I remember it was a Jack State game. We had that gaff. I don't even know what happened on the 4th and 1. The center quarterback exchange was messed up, and then it's happened again at Jack State. It happened again against Bowling Green. So we got to figure things out. And obviously the coaching staff and Coach Chavo, and I don't blame them. They have very little to no confidence in the kicking game, so they want to go for it. And I can't blame them for wanting to do that, but we have to figure out ways. That's something, if I have time this week, I can go back and look. What is Liberty on 4th down, and what is Liberty on 4th down, 2 yards or less the last, year and a half, or maybe during these last, what has it been, 10 games now, where we're 4-6 in those 10, and just see what those numbers are. Maybe compare it to what it was in 2023. But obviously something has to change there.
Yeah, and it's a new week. It's a rivalry week. A lot to be excited about, and some opportunities for us to maybe buy some stock, maybe sell some Liberty stock. Stocks helped Liberty University grow, I think. Not great on my Liberty history, but we got really rich at one point. So I don't know, stocks, sure. So Flame Stock Watch, see what we got. What are we buying? What are we selling?
Maybe I'll bring a little bit of optimism, and I don't want anybody to take this personal, but I'm selling fans giving up. Like, one of the things that, I hate to use the word hate, use it twice in one sentence, but I don't like using that word, but I really don't like when I see, and I understand people have the right to their own opinions and the way they want to spend their money. I get all that. But, if you're a season ticket holder and you already bought tickets for the season, like, why are you giving up? I've seen comments saying, I'm not going to the game this weekend. Put my tickets on StubHub and find something else to do Saturday. Like, what is that all about? Like, I mean, again, we're in week 4. Like, let's see what happens. Like, are things bad right now? Yes, they're bad. Could we be 1-4 in 2 weeks? Yes, we could be 1-4 in 2 weeks. At the same time, it doesn't mean we just cash it in and say, I'm done. I'm not supporting this team. Like, I don't understand that. That's a definition of a fair weather fan. I hope that we don't have a large percentage of those. Like, yes, I understand on social media, you're probably going to have some of those, but some of those people making those comments probably aren't your true diehard fans anyways, or more your fringe fans. I really hope as we look ahead to Saturday against JMU, like, don't put your tickets on StubHub. They're likely going to be bought by JMU fans. I was on a JMU message board this morning, and they were talking about, monitoring the tickets and the ticket prices there. They're going to be snatching those up, any that you put out there. So show up, support this team. Yes, we can be frustrated. Yes, I am frustrated, but let's not give up on them yet. They still putting on that Liberty logo on their helmet and on their jersey and going out there and representing our school and our team each and every week, our alma mater. So let's at least support them. Don't give up on them. And maybe that's too much rah-rah for some people, and that's okay. But let's pack out the stadium. Let's get there. A win Saturday would be so huge for this program, be huge for this team. And it would be huge for the fan base.
Yeah, I think so many times people get so locked in that multiple things can't be true, and that's not the case. We can sit here and say that we expected more, we're hopeful for more, but we could still support and root for Liberty at the same time. Like, it's not a mutually exclusive thing. Like, Liberty's bad, I'm not going to support the team anymore. I don't like Chadwell, I'm not going to support the team anymore. Like, I get it. Like John said, everyone's entitled to their own opinion, and I totally get that. But yeah, like, fans have different opinions and the way they're going about it. But me personally, I mean, I've sat through, many of us that have had ties to Liberty for more than 10 years have seen some downs not just in football. We've seen some things. I put it survived 2012, started off the season 0-4, turned it around, played in a de facto conference championship game. Didn't win, but Liberty's been there before. There's some Liberty fans out there that have never experienced this, and it's not a bad thing, but it goes in ebbs and flows. Not every school is, even Alabama has their like that's sports, and that's that. CT, what do we got?
I'm going to buy something else, and we'll see how people feel about it. But I put it as basically locker room voodoo is how I put it. It's not talking about relationships or anything like that in the locker room, but my mind goes back to Ted Lasso. If anybody has watched Ted Lasso, and there's the scene when Danny Rojas comes to the team and he gets hurt right away and they don't know what is wrong. And basically they come up with, there's this curse in the locker room and nobody wants to go in there because they're going to get hurt. And it takes them all coming together and they have a big party basically, and they get rid of the voodoo. Whatever that is for us, that's what we need to have happen. And so I'm buying that. So whatever it takes to get the bad juju out, whether it's, I've seen comments from people saying hey, I think this could go all the way back to the Oregon game, just in terms of mentality and people and stuff like that. Who knows what started this? Who knows where it came from? But whatever it is, let's bring everybody to Williams Stadium, stand at the middle of the field and start a prayer circle, something to figure out, okay, how can we actually get this thing turned around? So that's what I'm buying. Whatever it takes to get this thing moving in the right direction, I'm buying that.
Love it.
Get the supernatural involved. Who knows? I am buying rivalry week. When I was a student, they kind of tried to create the Coastal rivalry, and all the kids had beat Coastal shirts, and Coastal, I don't think, viewed us as a rival the way that we viewed them as a rival. And you hear the coaches from the coaches' comments. JMU's coach, I think it was today, was like, yeah, we're bringing a lot of fans. We'll see how loud they are when we have our fans there. And it's like, oh, this is a legitimate rivalry, and this is going to be a rivalry for a long time. We saw this week, we have games up until 2040. I said, we're going to be on the third edition of Richie Long Shots by 2040. I'm going to be so far out retired from the Liberty Twitter game by 2040. I hope. I don't know. But being in a legitimate rivalry where both sides are on board and Battle of the Blue Ridge, it's this is college football. And this is why a lot of us went to Liberty. So being in a legit rivalry, and I've never been someone that hates JMU, and I guess it's probably because I don't live in Virginia and all of that, but yes, they said paint the field purple. It's a legitimate rivalry. There's trash talk. I'm starting to hate JMU a little bit, which is good. That's what you want in a rivalry. So it just shows that how far we've come as a program, not just in the bubble of the mountain, but regionally as well, that we're in an actual rivalry, the same way that you get to see Michigan State, Michigan, Ohio State, Auburn, Alabama. Might not be to that level. I don't think anyone's going to poison trees or anything like that. But you never know with JMU fans. So it's exciting to be a part of it. It's cliche, but you throw out the record books, throw out the records during rivalry week, because anything can happen.
Love it.
Yeah, there we go. We're getting a little positive. So around the conference, Conference USA.
Yeah, my biggest takeaway this past week around the conference, Louisiana Tech. Anybody see that score? 49-14 over New Mexico State. I did not see that coming. Maybe Sonny Cummings got things figured out down in Ruston, and now that trip to Louisiana, what is that, in November, I think it is, early November, that's not looking so easy. Actually, I think it's late November, but Louisiana Tech might have something figured out down there.
Yeah, people were calling for his job in the beginning of the day. They were like, he's done after this year. Them changing conferences, they were like, we're getting out of here, but they've looked good at every turn. Delaware, they're becoming like the darlings of college football. It's been great to see as a UDEL distant. I'm not a UDEL fan, but I like that UDEL has gotten off to a great start. It was one of the games of the week. Great for them to beat a team like UConn that has national recognition. I'm not going to sit here and pretend like UConn's a great football team, but it's a name. They got their first FBS win at home. One of my coworkers was there. She said it was absolutely unbelievable. So kudos to them. But yeah, UTEP didn't get embarrassed. That's a plus. Missouri State didn't get embarrassed. Middle Tennessee State won. Like, all right. Yeah. Go, Sean.
I was going to say, this was a great week for Conference USA overall, barring us. This was a great week. Like, Middle Tennessee, they got on the board. They got an FBS win. Like, that's big for them to just get the ball rolling. Missouri State, yes, they lost, but they were up 10-0 on SMU through a quarter and a half. So we know what happens with winning the first quarter. But again, regardless, like, hey, that was signs from them. UTEP, like you said, didn't look bad. Half of that was probably Arch Manning and Izzy Hurd and stuff like that, but UTEP didn't look bad. I think a big one that we didn't really hit on yet was FIU beating FAU. FAU has owned them in that rivalry the past few years, and I don't think there's many people that thought FIU had a chance in the game, and they showed up and they looked pretty strong. They won by 10 points. So that was really solid as well. So all around, again, barring a couple things here and there, like Conference USA showed up and showed out this past weekend, which was great.
Yeah, and that kind of leads into this week, Delaware at FIU. That's a good game, early in conference play, first game for both of those two teams in league play. So I'm looking forward to that one. Other than that, it's kind of like looking ahead to this week, it's like a CUSA versus Sun Belt matchup. Obviously, you got Liberty and JMU, UTEP, Louisiana Monroe, Middle Tennessee and Marshall, Louisiana Tech and Southern Miss, Kennesaw and Arkansas State. Lots of Sun Belt Conference USA intra-league clashes this week.
Conference gets a couple wins. We start talking about it on the podcast, and Jay Dizzy is silent as a church mouse. But such is life. Bloomin' Onion. Shout out Bloomin' Onion. Listen, viewers are viewers. Great to see JMU fans tuning in. You know what? JMU needs a rival. We need a rival. They can sit here and pretend, but if we go in and beat them, they're going to be all sorts of fired up. So whether you like it or not, we're playing.
Bloomin' Onion doesn't think that JMU needs a rival.
I mean, it'd be cool to say they beat the Fiesta Bowl team from 2 years ago, but that's neither here nor there. Also, for the record, I'm not wearing a Clemson hoodie. It's a Fiesta Bowl hoodie.
I thought when we first got on tonight, I was like, is that a Clemson hoodie you got on, Richie? Because it looked orange in the lighting, but it's not. It's the Fiesta Bowl hoodie. My bad.
Yeah. So next up, JMU. Bob Chesney, second-year head coach, came from Holy Cross, correct?
Yeah.
1-1 this season. Opened up the season with a win against Weber State, and then lost to Louisville, coming off of a bye. Big thing with JMU, a lot of people talking about they have their two quarterback set. They got the kid that bailed on UNLV in the middle of the season last year, Sluka, and then another, I forget his name. Two different styles, which is very interesting from a defensive standpoint. It's like, one is going to run the ball, one is going to throw the ball until they mix it up, and they don't do that. But going to be very interesting to see. Obviously, someone just mentioned in the comments the Bob Chesney rumors to Virginia Tech. It's so early in the season to start playing the carousel that so much can change between now and then. So I'm not taking any stock in that yet. But what do we think about JMU?
Yeah, they do have the two quarterbacks, Sluka, who actually, he played for Chesney at Holy Cross, and then they both kind of went their own way. Chesney coming to Harrisonburg, and Sluka went out to Vegas, two different type of towns. But and it didn't work out at UNLV, so he went into the portal and visited Liberty. I mean, he was on a short list of QBs that the Flames were looking at. So we're, our coaching staff is obviously very familiar with him. So we'll see. how that works out. Barnett, did I say it? Yeah, Barnett, Alonzo Barnett. He had a knee injury the last play of the regular season last year, back in, I guess, late November. And I think it was expected he was going to miss a good chunk of the season, or at least be slow to start this year. But
I think it was an ACL.
Yeah, that was the rumor. I didn't see anything officially reported that was the case, but I think it was a torn ACL. But 8-9 months later, he's back ready to go in training camp, and has started their first 2 games. And he's a dual threat guy. But if you looked at their Louisville game, it was really Sluka coming in to run most of the time. Didn't attempt many, if any, passes. I think he had one late that was an interception, and Barnett was passing more than not. But they both are dual threat guys. They both can pass. They both can run. The weird thing, if you didn't watch any of their Louisville game, like, they would rotate quarterbacks by the play, not by the series, not by the quarter, but like Barnett being there for first and second down, then Sluka comes in for third, and then Barnett's back in for first, Sluka's back in for second. I mean, there's even a couple times they had them both on the field at the same time. That's something that Coach Chadwell talked about, you having to watch out for. So it would be really interesting. I was on a podcast with a JMU site earlier this week. I'm not sure. I don't think it's been posted yet, but that was one of the things that he was talking about. Like, there's some turmoil, if that might be too strong a word, inside their locker room about, why don't we just choose a quarterback already? So it'll be interesting to see. It's not all roses in Harrisonburg right now. It'll be interesting to see how Chesney handles this quarterback battle.
Yeah, I think, John, on that quarterback topic, I think it's pretty interesting, and I think it's maybe a warranted discussion real quick. So I saw another comment on X, and so I'd love to kind of bring it to you. And kind of see your thoughts on it, talking about this game and our team overall and everything like that. So I'm going to read this comment. The first half of it, stock watch, I'm selling this. So let that be clear. It says, it's clear, talking about our coaching staff, that they missed on the evaluation of Vasco. Again, I'm selling that, but we'll keep on moving on. Why did they decide to go with him? And also, why did they decide to not bring in more competition for the starting quarterback position? So as we talk about this game and we talk about Vasco, we talk about, hey, Sluka, and he was on a short list for Liberty, and those kind of things. Like, I just love to hear your thoughts kind of maybe addressing that question.
Yeah, I mean, it's a fair question. I think, right now in the state that college athletics is in, and if you're going into the portal to bring in a quarterback to replace another quarterback who went into the portal, it's very unlikely, maybe impossible, to bring in 2 portal quarterbacks that you think can compete for a starting job. Like, once one of those guys commits, which Vasco was the guy Liberty went after, I don't think you're going to get Sluka to join them either. I don't think Sluka would have gone to JMU if he thought Barnett was going to be healthy week 1 and in training camp, ready to go. I think he thought he had a longer runway to kind of win the job and start as a starting quarterback in week 1 and hopefully hang on to that as the year went on. So I think that's the first part of it. At the same time, like, Liberty did bring in 2 transfer quarterbacks, brought in Merdinger to kind of push Vasco, and then also Berger was still remaining, a guy who was a starter, at least named a starter, and did start week 1 for them a couple years back at App State before getting injured. So there was some competition in the room. Unfortunately, Berger has had to medically retire. Then you also had, Jaden Bradford, who, people talk about him a lot. I see it on social media all the time. And look, I get it. He was highly touted in high school, played at IMG, so that gets a lot of attention, a lot of eyeballs from our fan base. When he committed, had P4 offers up and down his offer sheet, and he chose to come and play for us. But you got to throw. It's one thing I have to say, and I think we have to say as fans, is like, you have to throw out the high school rankings and recruit rankings when they get on campus. It's a completely different ballgame now. Like, yes, you want all the 4 stars and 5 stars and higher rated kids you can get and highest rated classes you can have. But once they get here, the coaches aren't looking at, this guy was a 4-star, or he committed to us over 7 P4 offers. Like, that doesn't matter. It's about what you do in film room, what you do during your reps on the field. And, Jaden is the 4th string quarterback right now, 5th string if Berger was still healthy. So, not a shot against the kid. I hope he is able to figure it out and turns it on and can be
He's been hurt a little bit too.
He did. He missed the spring, which obviously set him back some too. But just because he was so highly rated doesn't mean, he's our savior at quarterback. It hasn't worked out for him. That doesn't mean our coaches are bad evaluators. I mean, they've got 5 guys in the room, and you hope at least 1 or 2 or 3 of them kind of hit. So, but it's a fair question, and but I think the main point is it's almost impossible to bring in 2 portal quarterbacks that are expecting to win a starter job.
Yeah. Back to the game script as well. And I appreciate that, John. I'm seeing some of the comments live here, talking about, hey, D-line is a strength for JMU. I know Pat Kelly mentioned that versus our O-line, who's had some struggles, and some people are kind of saying, hey, maybe more of the option game could be a good look this week against that. So I'm curious to see y'all's thoughts as well. Like, hey, is that going to be a weakness for us? Is that a good counter? And so on there.
I think so. I think we have the running backs to, run, 2 running backs in the backfield, go with a set like that and spread it out, and just a little trickery, a little bit of confusion, and avoid the holds. So I love the option, run the triple. It's one of the most exciting things to see in college football when it runs well. I just think of that first play of the Oregon game, the option right out to Bedgood. We have some guys that have some speed, that have athleticism, that can make that happen. Vasco he can keep it himself. There's I like it. I'm all for the option.
Yeah, and Juju Gray's a guy that you can kind of see in that Bedgood type role that we had in 2023. Yeah. But I've kind of been surprised by the lack of opportunities, the lack of touches Juju's gotten through the first 3 games. I mean, I think he only had 4 at Jack State and 3 last week. And Coach Chow was asked about that this week, and he basically said that Juju has to do better. So apparently there's certain aspects of his game, maybe be it pass blocking or whatever. I'm not exactly sure what, but there's other aspects of his game that he's not meeting the standard that he's been asked to meet. So hopefully he can improve and shore up those areas, because there's no question he's a dynamic athlete. And if we can get the ball to him in space, he can make guys miss. And you heard, if you listen to Coach Chesney's press conference this week, he was talking about number 1, which is Juju, many times. And it's obviously he's somebody that the opposing scout is keeping an eye out for him, because he's someone that anytime he gets the ball, he can take it to the house.
I have one more thing I just want to bring up about this game. And John, if you don't mind pulling back up the graphic about JMU so far in this season, because I think there's one important point to bring up. And it's that when you really get down to it, there's a 1 in our win column on the season, and there's a 1 in JMU's win column. So if you take a look at that, they're no better than us this season. And at the end of the day, anything can happen on a Saturday. So with all that in mind, I think we can turn the season around. I think we get things rolling. And I think after Saturday, we can walk out of Williams Stadium saying we're better than JMU. We beat them, and we have more wins than them on the season. So
there you go.
A little positivity never hurt. So talked about it. Talked about JMU. Talked about Bowling Green. Who's our next flame up? Who's going to be the guy on Saturday that we think could help us lead to CT's prediction? All right, next flame up. I'll go first. My next flame up is just anyone that's going to hold on to the ball. I don't care who. I don't care how. A little bit of stick 'em. Just hold on to the ball. Hold on to the ball, and good things happen. I considered making me the next flame up. I was a kicker in my heyday. I tweeted some videos of me putting the ball through the uprights. I'm available. I have eligibility, and I won't cost much.
Well, that kind of leads into who I have as my next flame up is Braden Beck, and he's the next kicker up in that kicker battle. And let's hope he'll be the next flame up and can step into that role. And his kick, he only had the one field goal opportunity down at or up at Bowling Green. And when he came off the field after the kick, he was going like this, like, oh, it was good, it was good, it was good. And so was the holder. And Chadwell looked at the ref and was like, what's this all about? And the ref said it went over the upright rather than inside of the upright, if you could extend the upright vertically, imaginarily. If that's correct English, is probably not. But so he made it. Maybe it would have hit the upright if it was longer. I don't know, but we need to make some field goals. 1 of 4 through 3 games is just not good enough. So I'm hopeful that Braden Beck can be the next flame up, and he's the guy that's been around this program for a long time. He's stuck around and continually lost the kicking job in camp to a number of kickers over the past 3 or 4 years, but he stayed here, and it would be a great story if he can emerge and start making some of these kicks and have a good final season here on the mountain.
One other guy I'll bring up is I'll go the defensive side. And it's something that, hey, we're going to need to keep on working on stopping the run. We're going against another team who they can pass it, but they do like to run the ball a lot. So I'm going to go for a guy on the defensive line who I've seen step up a little bit more each game. And I'd love to see him keep on stepping up, and that's DJ Jackson. He's been somebody that last game he had 5 tackles total. He had a tackle for loss as well. So he's another guy that maybe we weren't talking about at the beginning of the season, but he's stepping up into a role a bit more, and would love to be able to see him be in there, give some depth, give some fresh energy, and try to stop that JMU running attack.
Yeah, I like it. Here's a comment here. Is Brylan at 100% yet? I was at practice today, and I don't think Brylan Green I don't know if he's going to be at 100% all season. He's got a cast on his, I believe it's his right hand, wrist. I heard today that it's one that he can remove it at times and put it back on. He's been working with the jug machine, trying to work on catching the ball. Obviously, he hasn't been in the punt return game. That's been Reese Smith, because it's kind of hard to catch a punt when you only got one arm, one hand. So I don't know if he'll get to 100% this year. Maybe later in the year he'll be able to take that cast off. But he's been playing really good with one arm. So Brylan Green with one arm is better than a lot of other safeties.
Yeah, with 2. Yeah, so next flame up, we'll see. A lot of love for Evan Dickens in the chat. He's become kind of that Liberty darling this year. Flew under the radar, and great to have a.
I wanted to jump in on this. Yes, Jack State put up 338 rushing yards. Yeah, you go back and listen to our podcast last week. We talked all about it. JMU running backs are leaps and bounds better than Jack State. I beg to disagree. Go watch Cam Cook play some football. That dude's a stud.
For a guy that says we are not rivals, he is all up in the comments. So I'm just calling it like I see it. So got our next flame up. Like to close the show with hearing from the fans. I knew when the game ended, I think there were like 38 comments within the first 5 minutes. I went, man, I'm glad I'm not the one sifting through these. So pulse of the fans.
Yeah. You going to lead us off, CT?
Yeah, I will. Yeah, it was a lot to sift through those. And that was just the post-game ones. During the game, I was like, this is going to be a mess. So actually, I put one up at halftime as well. Just like
I saw
get
that.
people to start getting that out. Get it out of their system a little bit. It didn't matter. They were flooding in. Had to use Grok to help me out. Just try to sort through that, figure out where to go. And I'm honestly not even sure how I want to take this. So I think I'm going to maybe start off with a couple, just in my opinion.
Oh no, we lost CT.
Well, right as if things were getting juicy.
Right.
Let me go to the show notes.
Right.
I was kicking my feet up. I was like, all right, we'll do it live.
Here he is.
Okay, I guess the commenters really didn't want me to get started on these.
Sorry about that. So I think I'm going to start off with a couple maybe ridiculous ones. We'll get into a couple more from there. First one, goodbye bowl streak. Missouri State and Delaware are both better than us. I mean, maybe in the power rankings, maybe that's not as ridiculous. Maybe I shouldn't start with that one, but interesting thought there.
Well, I will say that I did have that thought on my ride home Sunday is this bowl streak in jeopardy? I don't think I'm there yet, but maybe in a few weeks we'll be there. We'll see.
Yeah. One on NIL that I was like, I don't know how I feel about that. Said until we're paying players what they can get at bigger schools, this will be our lot in life. It's not enough to get a good quarterback, a second chance to get big money. Next year, we have to pay players what they can get at other schools. The days of people playing at your school because that's where they want to play are over. No one is dumb enough to come play for Liberty when they can make $200,000 a year playing somewhere else.
Fair comment, but Liberty's internal NIL budget is as good, if not better, than anybody at the G5 level. Every football player is being paid something. Every student athlete, Division I NCAA student athlete at Liberty is being paid something too. So you can't say that. I don't think at any other G5 school, maybe very few P4 schools can you say that. So yeah, I mean, did Kane Salter go and get a bag to go to Colorado? Yeah, he also lost
a couple bags.
Did CJ Daniels go and get a bag to go play up at the P4 level? Maybe a couple times as well too. Yes, but our players are being paid.
Yeah.
Yes. Shout out to Flames Club.
Shout out Flames Club. Interesting one here. I know I disagree with it, but for y'all, is it time for us to start considering that Chadwell was a mirage because of Salter and that he actually is just a mediocre coach?
Well, I think you look at his career record, that would beg to differ. Coach Chadwell seems to have optimism that this is going to get turned around. I wouldn't say mirage. I mean, there's people that were like, and I don't know, I'm not going to pull up receipts, but there were a lot of people that were like, Hugh Freeze is the devil. I'm so glad he's gone. He never wanted to be here. They're suddenly like, we need Hugh Freeze back. And I'm like, what? Like, we again, two things can be true here, people. But no, there's a reason why UCF called Jamie Chadwell and we were tracking flights. Like, he's looked at as a very good coach who a lot of people believe is going to be a P4, a P2 coach one day. And we have someone like that on the mountain, and you take advantage of that. But I'm not going to, over a 10-game span, call a mirage.
Yeah, as the old saying goes, you're never as good as you are when you're winning. You're never as bad as you are when you're losing. This can be said of the Flames currently.
Yeah, that's fantastic. And like Richie said, just go back and look at his record for across multiple schools, across multiple places.
Yeah.
He's able to beat us at multiple schools. Like it's nuts.
He was able to beat us at Charleston Southern. Have you looked at their budget recently? Yeah. Like, I think while he was there, they've installed lights at their football field. Like, that's how low their budget is. And he got Charleston Southern to where they're a perennial FCS playoff team. Took them to more FCS playoffs than we ever went to in our FCS history.
Yeah. This one is more even keeled, I'd say. And honestly, John, I feel like this could be interesting for you to maybe dive into later on as well. So would love a deep dive look at how many of the 6 losses in our last 9 FBS games are likely flipped to a win, if not for losing in the turnover column.
That's a good one. And, it's something about the turnovers. Obviously we'd have to do some research on that statistic, but that's something I've thought about in the last 48 to 72 hours or however long it's been since the loss is, not to bag on our 2023 season. Obviously it was a great year, but we also led the nation in turnovers forced. And we may have been number 1, certainly near the top in turnover margin. So, and even in spite of that, we still, you remember the win over Sam Houston, and that was
interception.
a not good Sam Houston team. Like, there was a couple of close wins, nail-biting wins that year. So maybe we weren't as good as we thought we were during that season, and we won a few extra games than maybe we should have due to positive turnover margin, and maybe it's catching up to us here over this past 10-game streak.
Awesome.
Yeah, I agree.
Couple last ones. Richie, I think you'll be able to guess who this was. I won't need to say. I think you'll be able to guess. What are the odds a random Conference USA team would drop a game to Bowling Green? I think a majority of them probably would. That's who we are now.
Yeah, I think if you look at it at this moment on September 16th, yes, the on-the-field play, we are a mid-pack Conference USA team. Now, that isn't saying in November things are totally different, but you could say a lot about if statements, but if we rattle off wins in the next 2 weeks over 2 in-state programs, everyone's singing a different story. All the momentum shifted. So you could say that yes, in the moment, but they play the games for a reason. They don't call the Kentucky Derby at the quarter mile post. So yeah, you could say at this moment, this is where we're at. You look at John's power rankings of Conference USA teams. Yeah, right now in this moment, I agree with that. Now, again, as I said, they play the games and things can look differently or things can look the same. But I'm keeping the optimism. It's a tough game the next couple of weeks, but when October hits, it's a new opportunity. It's a new season, conference play in full force. But right now in the moment, yes, you can't argue against that. I'm not going to even try to do that. So yeah, I get it. Was it Jay Dizzy or Turtle?
I'll give you the second half of the comment, and then you can take a second guess. So the second half implied that being in Conference USA causes us to set back as opposed to if we're independent.
Yeah, well, we could be independent and playing random games that mean very little and never have a shot to go to the playoffs or a New Year's Six Bowl. So I get it, but that's just not the way college football is now, unless you're Notre Dame.
We'll do one more, and then maybe just a positive ending. This one from the Queen, Kathy, and I think she gives a balanced enough.
Comments.
Yeah, she is tonight as well. She was in the replies on Twitter, and she said, I don't pretend to know a lot about football, especially the X's and O's of it, but it does seem that the way players are being rotated in and out for every play works against us. So they don't seem like they gel as a unit and truly know their assignments. She's like just a very amateur football watcher's observation, but that's kind of her thoughts.
Yeah, I mean, I get what you're saying. I think on defense, it's good to rotate players in and out. You keep them fresh, keep them healthy as well, too. I think at quarterback, like we were talking earlier with JMU, I don't think it's a good thing to rotate your quarterback in really at all. Just they need to get a good rhythm. I think that can also be said for your running backs. It's good to find a guy and stick with him. And I think early in the season, these first 3 weeks, you're trying to figure out who is that running back. And I think we've kind of settled on it being Dickens. And I think you'll see more of us going to Dickens and not trying to get 4 guys touches. The rest of the team, I think it's fine to rotate players. I don't think it hurts. You need some depth. It also helps develop players, long term, for injuries, so other guys can step in and they've actually played before. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I think we, especially on the offensive side of the ball, we had a lot of new players that are all playing together for the first time. So trying to develop that and give them opportunities, throwing to different receivers, handing the ball off to different running backs, different offensive linemen. But yeah, I get it.
Yeah. I think it's figuring out what works. And yes, that may come at a detriment to guys being able to gel as well through these first couple of games, but it's really just finding those combinations, whether it's the offensive line or, quarterback with running backs. quarterback with wide receivers, whatever it is. I think it's just finding those combinations. Same goes with the defensive side of the ball. So
Yeah.
I get why that could be a concern, but I think it's just, hey, we got to figure things out, and some things aren't working as well as we thought they would have.
Yeah, that's a good point, CT. I think that's probably been what it's been for the most part early in the year from the coaches, is just rotating those guys in and out to see what they got. Like at running back, like I was mentioning. But I think as you move into the mid part of the season and the last half of the season, I think you'll see that less and less.
Yeah. Last thing, and maybe Richie, you can lead us off with positivity after this. I see former producer 3000, ultimate Kool-Aid drinker, was there in the comments saying these next 2 weeks, yeah, they could be rough, or they could be electric. So with that in mind, let's take it away with some positivity.
Yeah, I mean, I say it all the time. We're so lucky that we get to watch, whether you attended Liberty, it's your alma mater, or you've become a fan over the years. We get to watch them play college football on Saturday, and it's awesome. It's exciting. There's always that buzz that you have before kickoff when the game's about to start, whether you're watching on TV or you're there live. That's a fun feeling. And I've said it many times that anything can happen on any Saturday. We see upsets all the time in this sport, and I'll always support and root for Liberty. And I think John said it earlier that these guys are running out with Liberty on their chests, Liberty on their helmets. The new jerseys this week, from what I hear.
Maybe.
We'll see. Could be the old jerseys. I don't know. I'm just biased to New Jerseys as a New Jersey resident. I'm always hoping maybe this is the week. I'm not breaking any news. They put the jerseys in the game, so I don't want to hear it. So yeah, I'm excited for it.
Well, and another fact I'll throw out there before we sign off is Liberty has never beaten JMU at Williams Stadium. Never. Let that sink in. So the last time we beat them in a home game was 1989, a month before Williams Stadium opened, when we were playing over at City Stadium, which was it 2012 that we opened at City Stadium?
2010. It was my first year on campus.
Yeah. So, those of you that were around then, you got to get over to City Stadium. So we've never beaten them at Williams Stadium. So I think it's time to end that streak and, get out here and support the team. You only have 5 Saturdays this year that you can have a home game and have your team play in front of you on the home field. So get out there and support the team, against a really good opponent, the best opponent, most talented team we faced at home since 2022, right? So let's get out there and support them. Let's have an amazing atmosphere, an amazing environment. Let's make it a tough place to play at Williams Stadium. Let's, lose our voices by halftime when our team's on defense, and pretend like we're at a Southern Baptist church event when we're on offense, and be quiet and let the offense do some work. So, but no, come on out there and support the team. Have some fun. It's a great place to watch a game. Bring your family. And hopefully you've already got your tickets. I'm sure if you're watching this, you probably do. So, let's have fun. Let's turn this thing around. Let's end this skid. Let's turn it around. It starts Saturday, and you win Saturday, and a lot of sins can be forgiven.
Yeah, no, that's really good, John. And I will say as well, I was saying let's end with some positivity, but I think as I read the comments right now, I'm getting even more fired up, and I say we end with some why JMU is so loathsome. So Bloomin' Onion is back in here saying, by halftime, there will be more purple than red in the stands. Let's make sure that's not the case. Let's make sure that it is the purple leaving the stadium and it is only red left. So I'm really excited for this game. So I hope everyone does show up, because they want to see our team beat JMU. They want to be a part of that. And let's see our team take care of business. I'm really excited now. And I'm excited to have this rivalry.
Yeah, I know what, you guys summed it up perfectly. We're so thankful for everyone tuning in, whether you're a Liberty fan, you're a Liberty fan that's disappointed, you're a Liberty fan that's optimistic or pessimistic, you're a JMU fan that's rubbing it up in the comments. I can't hate on a bloomin' onion. It's just an all-time appetizer. But as always, again, we're so thankful that you're joining us. Make sure you subscribe, whether it's on YouTube, Spotify. Those are the only two I use. So Apple Podcasts, SoundCloud. I don't know what John puts us out on. But as always, thanks for tuning in. And most importantly, win or lose, go Flames.